Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. My name is Saima and welcome to Saima's Experience. In today's video, I just kind of want to riff on whether or not we are going into sort of some recessionary times and how it may or may not impact Turo hosts. And on this topic particularly, I would love to get your guys' feedback in the comment section. So to begin with, I just want to throw some questions out there for my fellow Turo hosts that tune in. Number one, do you think that we are headed into a slower period for business on the Turo platform? Are you noticing that your summer bookings have slowed down? Are they staying on par? Are you getting bookings as far out in advance as you're used to getting, or are they sort of more last minute? So I just want to get a general temperature on how things are going and what some of your insights are. Now, in my community over at powerhost.club, this is something that we've been talking about a lot, and we've been kind of getting a pulse from different hosts and different markets, just kind of seeing how things are going. I know here personally for me, usually by the time we head into summer, I typically have bookings, 3 months out in advance, but I'm noticing this year that bookings are really coming in very last minute, and there aren't as many advanced bookings as I'm used to seeing in a normal year. And that is, of course, always a cause to kind of stop and take a look at what may or may not be going on so that you can adjust accordingly. Now, personally, and this is just purely my own opinion, when you look at the state of the economy as a whole, things have definitely changed, right? Inflation has gone up, cost of goods and services has gone up, and things are starting to kind of slow down. Reason being because expenses go up, which eats away at disposable income that people might have, so they have to pull back spending on things that are not technically necessities, right? And that can impact a variety of things in life, right? Travel plans, how nice of a hotel room you get, how nice of a car you get when you're traveling. So it can just really, really vary, and some people might now have to start budgeting. So we are living in really weird and interesting times where the economy is changing, people's spending ability is changing, and their buying power is changing. And that, I think, can have various effects on the Turo marketplace. So I'm just going to share my 2 cents with you guys on what I think it could be. But once again, no one can ever really call a market or know for sure what may or may not happen. This is just purely my opinion from doing this for 7+ years and just certain patterns and trends that I recognize. And again, I would love to know what you guys might think. So personally, given that it is the month of May and I don't have too many advanced bookings throughout the summer, like June, July, and August, it kind of to me indicates that things are a bit slower than they normally would be during the summer peak season. Now, I think overall the summer is still going to go very well for most people, because if you just look at some of the statistics on airfare that's been booked, airlines have shown some record sales and are pretty booked out for the summer. So that means people definitely have travel plans. There is still that pent-up travel demand that, maybe people haven't gone anywhere for a couple years and they are really ready to get out there and take that much needed vacation that so many of us need, including myself. So I think that we are going to see a fairly strong summer season, but it's not going to be as predictable as we're used to seeing pre-COVID times, right? Where we have those advanced bookings for many months out. Now, of course, this is also very market dependent too. You have to make sure that you remember that. I think that there are going to be some markets that perform really well, such as South Florida, right? Especially Miami. One of the reasons being that not only is it a vacation destination, but so many major events and conferences are now being held in that part of the country. So you get that tourism, plus you get all that business travel for people attending these either entertainment events or these work-related conferences and things like that. So you get kind of just this huge groves of people coming in, which of course will boost the rental market. Now, I love to go on Turo from time to time, and this is a great way for you to do some market research as well. And I love to just look at different cities and how people are doing. And when you go through people's calendars in the Miami area, you can see they have many advanced bookings, out into June and July, maybe people coming in for vacation or different events. So it is disproportionate. It depends on where you are and what's happening there. But now when I look at fellow hosts here in my area in Southern California, I noticed that seldom do we have advanced bookings that are a month out, 2 months out, 3 months out. So it is definitely a bit slower here. And talking to other hosts in my community, they are also kind of noticing that slowdown. Now, given that I personally think that we are sort of already in a recession and we will probably head deeper into recessionary times, I think that there are some really important things that you should be aware of and think about as a host as you continue on either building your fleets or expanding your business. Now, the good news is, for the first time in a really long time, used car prices are finally starting to come down. So yay, finally a win for us Turo hosts, because as many of you know, it has been incredibly hard to get into cars at even a decent deal. Majority of people who have been getting into cars in the last 6 months or so, you're definitely paying way overpriced, right? Because that's just what the market was. But finally, in a long time, we're seeing that the last 3 months, used car prices have steadily come down. They haven't come down by a lot, but at least they are trending in the right direction for us as Turo hosts. And I think that that will continue to be the trend. Now, there's a couple of things going on here, right, that you have to be aware of. One, supply is still low, which is why I think those prices are coming down a bit slower. However, demand, I think, in my opinion, is falling a bit faster than maybe the shortages in supply. So because demand is starting to come down, those price points are also starting to come down. Now, for me personally, I was in the process of buying a Tesla Model S just a couple weeks ago before I really noticed a price drop in cars. And I literally went through the financing process. I reserved the car, I was ready to go, actually scheduled my delivery as well, until I went back online and I started noticing that prices started to come down. And when I just checked earlier today on the Tesla Model S prices, they were down about $4,000 on average from what I had seen from just a couple weeks ago. So it's insane to kind of start seeing that difference. And I actually ended up canceling that order because, of course, I lost my deposit on it. That's okay, but I'd rather get a car at a better deal. So I think right now, if as a Turo host, you're seeing that, business is going well in your market, you project that things are going to be pretty okay moving throughout the year, then just wait a little while longer. And I think that you're going to find that you can get into cars at a better deal, because another thing that's happening is a lot of dealers got into inventory that was sort of overpriced, and it's very difficult to move that inventory now. So you may have some room there to sort of negotiate on that pricing. So we have to, I guess, in a way, just keep hoping that demand continues to fall for these cars so that prices continue to go down. Now, another thing is that I've noticed when I checked resale value. So if you're looking to sell your car, let's say on Vroom or Carvana, CarMax, or any one of these, Shift even, you can run the values of your cars. So I ran the value of one of my cars a couple weeks ago, and then I ran it again just a couple days ago. Again, I saw that it was almost a $4,000 drop in price on what the offers were. So even these big companies that were looking to replenish their inventories and buy up as many cars as they can, now they are also no longer paying as much as they were just a few weeks ago. So the market is really, really changing. And so I really urge you, if you think that you are going to get into more cars for your Turo business, which, depending on what market you're in and the type of cars that you have, may not be a bad idea. Just make sure that you're getting into them at good deals, because that is now more important than it's ever been. given the total economic landscape of things, right? Again, inflation being high, cost of goods and services being high, and people not having as much disposable income to spend. That can affect even the Turo marketplace. Now, I think the beauty of Turo and just car rentals in general is that it's one of those things, unlike some recent investments out there, it's one of those things that don't go to zero. And that's kind of what I've seen throughout the year. I think that there are always people out there that are looking to rent, that are traveling, moving about, maybe traveling for business, personal reasons, birthdays, date nights, whatever it might be. So there's always those rentals out there. So we'll never go to zero, but things can slow down. So my final piece on this subject is, as you move on through the second half of the year, right? We're going to go through summer and then we're going to find ourselves in winter, right? There's always sort of that natural slowdown that we experience in the month of September, where it is a pretty stark drop off in business. And we see it happen almost every single year. And reason being because people are coming back from vacation, kids are going to school, a lot of people have spent up, their disposable income, and then everyone's budgets kind of contract, right? So that business really falls off. As you go into summer season, and hopefully, fingers crossed, things remain busy, just make sure that you are creating a runway for yourself for the remainder of the year in the event that the economy really slows down and business slows down more than usual. Now, here's hoping that that is not the case and that that's not what happens, but you always want to be prepared for worst case scenarios. You want to anticipate that, given certain things that we're seeing right now, that there is a pretty high probability this may happen towards the end of the year. So build that savings net. I think you should always have at least 6 months in the bank of car payments and insurance, just anything to cover your expenses, and be ready for anything that could happen. Now, the nice thing about Turo and really participating in any marketplace is that you can always figure out, if the market completely slows down, how to build more value into your listings. So this is just me planting some seeds for the future, right? Something to just think about. If you notice that things begin to slow down, think about how to add more value to your listings so that the demand that is out there, no matter how small, finds your listing to be the most valuable, the most bang for their buck, and has these renters going to your listing and booking from you. So you can do that by competing in price, which is not necessarily my favorite way of doing it. You can do that by offering delivery, which people value extremely high. You can do that by offering more miles, which people love as well. It gives them a level of comfort, and various other ways, right? So hours of operations, just a very easy, seamless pickup and drop off in an area that's convenient for people. So these are all little things that you can do. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And once again, I would just love to hear from you guys about what you think is going to happen with the Turo marketplace for the rest of 2022. Are we headed into a recession? Are we going to be impacted as Turo hosts by this, at an extreme level, medium range, or are we really not going to feel it at all? So once again, just my opinion based on all the things that I've seen. Love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. And I am going to be in the comment section down below. So I look forward to hearing your guys' opinions on what's going to happen with the market. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.